Enemies public.
Nobody can be you but you.
Peace.
Nobody can be you but you. Nobody can be you but you.
This is the Enemies Public. I am Bro.Nasir.
Nobody can be you. Don't get too wrapped up in someone else's style.
Today's subject matter is
wild.
when you sit in a seat of judgment.
You gotta find what you're all about. And
When you
know
sit in
that
a seat of
you are
judgment,
without a doubt.
you set the precedent
Everyone's a
to be
star,
judged
and you get so
yourself.
much time in time to take it far. Yeah.
Play two songs, and I'll
The
get to the
whole
subject
world's a
matter.
stage, and no one else
Again,
can play a part. Ooh,
peace.
that's why I say,
This is the Enemies Public.
Nobody can be you but you. Nobody can be you but you. Oh, nobody can be you but you. Nobody can be you. You better look out and try to hold you down and make your ideas seem less than profound. You better look out and try to make you seem you ain't got the mood to make the groove and make it mean. You know it. You better look out and make it feel like you ain't for real. You don't know the deal. You better look out. They're trying to change your mind, tell you you ain't mine, baby, and that ain't for real. Come on, baby. Look here. Nobody can be you but you. Nobody, no. Nobody can be you but you. All this negative got to go. Nobody can be you but you. Nobody can be you. You got to move your behind. If you're gonna catch up, you got to use your mind. If you wanna go to the top, baby, you gotta do what you do best. I don't mean maybe. Take your keys to the road. Make yourself stand up for what you got. Straight ahead. Don't let yourself stand in your way. That's what I said. Yeah.
Wake up! Take the pillow from your head and put a book in it. It's time for the massive BDP crew at the top of the pile. Ha ha! Yo, in the morning I'm yawning. At noon is when I wake up, make up my bed, break up the bread, and said, scratching my head, why am I so damn intimidating? Is it because of laws designed to keep us waiting and waiting, thus hating all forms of a setback? Get back if you can't understand a rap act. This is the language of the people ready to hear the truth. I got no juice, cause I'm not getting juice. I have juice means you kiss it like a lot of booty. I have respect means you simply knew or knew me. Heard what I had to say and felt this when you say that too. I'm not down with a juice crew, but anyway, I say today the message I create is great. I don't preach hate, I simply get the record straight. It's not the fault of the black race that we are misplaced. We're robbing and killing your own medicine you taste. You talk of a race or the concept of violence. Now in 90 you want silence? Well, I want science. Not science for science. Scientific fact about black. The Board of Education acts as if it's only reality. It's something about a Tom, Dick, and Harry. So now you learn your black history as questions and answers. Every question but the Black Panthers. Timbuktu existed when the caveman existed. Why then isn't this listed? Is it because the black man is the original man? Or does it mean humanity is African? I don't know, but these sciences are hidden. For some strange reason, it's forbidden to talk about or converse on a political upburst. I don't believe that I'm the first, but should I say the first one? Or the first one that's done? Music like I'm still number one. Or music like that or this is the incredible uplift. Those that oppose get this. But who will oppose the teacher? For society's a rat, so check the black man's in effect. Near the Tigris and Euphrates valleys in Asia lies the Garden of Eden, where Adam became a father to humanity. Now don't get mad at me, but according to facts, this seems as fantasy, cause man, the most ancient man, was found thousands of years before Adam began. And when he was found, again they can't laugh at ya. It's like that smack in Africa, but due to religious and political power, we must be denied the facts. Every hour we run to school trying to get straight A's. Let's take a trip way back in the day to the first civilization on earth, the Egyptians, giving birth to science, mathematics, and music, religion. The list goes on, you choose it. Egypt was the land of spiritual blessing. Egypt was the land of facts, not guessing. People from all over the world had come to learn from Egypt. Egypt number one. So people that believe in Greek philosophy, know your facts. Egypt was a monopoly. Greeks had learned from Egyptian masters. You might say prove it, well here's the answers. 640 to 322 BC originates Greek philosophy. But in that era, Greece was at war with themselves and Persia once more. Any philosopher at that time was a criminal. He'd be killed very simple. This indicates that Greece had no respect for science or intellect. So how the hell you created philosophy when you kill philosophers constantly? The point is that we descend from kings, science, art, and beautiful things. African history is the world's history. This is the missing link and mystery. Once we realize that all are African, with black and African. So judge not, least ye may be judged. For the judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. Matthew 7, verse doesn't budge. No man can walk the earth in sludge. If you don't believe, you can go and check to see how and where the black man's in effect.
Peace. This is the enemy's public, Bro.Nasir. This evening, I want to speak about those of us who sit in the seat of judgment. When I say sit in the seat of judgment, those who are critical of others, those who judge others and ignore their shortcomings. And most of the total population of the planet Earth is guilty of that. Now, we have brothers and sisters who feel compelled to judge others when they don't look in the mirror at themselves. They know the behavior that they indulge in, yet they are totally dismissive of what they do, yet they look at others and they judge them hastily. And that's what I want to get into today. Now, I always ask the question, if all we can produce is turncoats, boule, sellouts, agents of the government, if that's all we can produce as a people, what does it say about us as a people? It seems to me that our young people and some of us who are older have this dissension for those who stood and acted on behalf of our people. And according to some of them, anyone who have ever stood and acted on behalf of our people, we're no good. From Marcus Garvey to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Noble Drew Ali, to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to Dr. Francis Krause Welsing, and those who stand today and act on behalf of our people. It seems as if everybody has something critical and negative to say about these brothers and sisters who stood and acted on our behalf. And what it does is it causes dissension, it causes confusion, and it causes everyone to be suspicious of each other. Everyone is looking at each other with suspicion. If we can't trust anyone of our people, and that's all we can produce, we are useless eaters. We are. Because we can't produce anyone to stand and act on our behalf without that brother or sister being a plant. And we don't realize that when we have this sentiment about those who stand and act on our behalf as agents, as boule, as a sellout, that means that we can't do it ourselves. We can't be responsible for changing our own condition, and that we have to have our people have to have someone sanctioned by the United States government to stand on our behalf. And it seems to me that a lot of us don't even know what COINTELPRO is. We always use these different sayings, and we'll use words that we've learned without really getting into deep, extensive research and studies. That's our problem. That's our main problem. A lot of us search and we don't dig deep enough. We search and then we think we've had our eureka moment, and anything that's contrary to what one of us believe in our ideology, it will resonate with us if it's contrary to the brother or sisters who is standing before us, because we will look for a reason to not support each other. That's what we do. We look for a reason to not support each other. And anything somebody put in Google, Wikipedia, what kills me is we defend our rhetoric and foolishness with information given to us by our enemy. We'll say one brother's or sister's information is the white man's information. And how do we prove that? With another white man's information, what makes us look like the total dummies that people say we are. Excuse me. And we don't want to hear anything each other say. It's a whole lot of suspicion towards each other. We don't trust one another as far as we can hear each other. We don't trust. Because we've been taught that. We deny it, but we've been taught that for so long. And I'll also ask the question, if we wasn't enslaved as a people, what in hell happened to us that we have such a slave mentality that we only trust white people's information. Because when you look at information on Google, information on Wikipedia, and when people call themselves doing research and they see something contrary about or negative about one of our brothers and sisters who stood and acted on our behalf, we tend to go, aha. And we'll teach that, we'll stand on the highest mountain and shout that to our brothers and sisters about our own people. Now, I know for certain that brothers and sisters who have stood on our behalf are those who are trustworthy. More so than the brothers and sisters who are on social media today saying that these brothers and sisters were sellouts, were boule, and was plants by the government. I ask those who are suspicious of these brothers and sisters where you come from. That you are on social media causing so much confusion and dissension and suspicion on each other. We have to get out of that because it's doing none of us any good. Absolutely none of us. And we need to understand that those acts itself are COINTELPRO. It's counterintelligence. It's countering the intelligence that we gather. When you have somebody out here talking disrespectful about an organization or movement that served our people, and not only that, some of our people did the best with the knowledge that they had. I'm going to repeat that. Some of our people did the best with the knowledge that they had at the time they were doing their work. And these people didn't have all the information at their fingertips. They didn't have social media. When they organized on a grassroots level, and they came together and they did the work. And most of these Negroes running their mouth can't even touch the hem of these brothers and these sisters' pants. Now, there are sellouts among that crowd of brothers and sisters, but everybody who stood and acted on our behalf was not chosen by this government. We need to get that out of our damn heads. But some of us seem to think that everybody who stood and acted on our behalf was in the government's pocket. They were paid off to do this or do that. They were planted. That means that we are totally irresponsible, that we can't produce nobody to stand and act on our behalf. That means we are totally incompetent and don't even deserve to breathe air. If we can't produce a person to come and give us information to free our minds so the rest of us can follow, it's totally ridiculous to even suggest that. Yet, tell some of these young people today and some of the ignorant among us who are older. I understand that some of our people dropped the ball. I understand that wholeheartedly. But not all of our brothers and sisters. And not only that, if you're sitting around complaining about what a brother and sister did not do, and all you're doing is complaining about what they didn't do, and you're not doing anything yourself, just be quiet. Be quiet and accept things for how they are if you're not doing anything but complaining. But that's all a lot of us do, is complain about what's not being done. If you know emphatically what's not being done, it's your responsibility to do it. Perhaps the person, the brother and sister who are doing what they do is not recognizing what needs to be done. If you recognize it, you should be doing it. Because one man, one woman don't have all the answers, don't know it all. But collectively, we know it all. Collectively. One man, one woman, one brother, one sister don't know it all. But collectively, we know it all. We need to get out of regurgitating and repeating the falsehoods that's put out by our open and consistent enemy. And we would rather believe the worst about each other. We actually look for it. We see a brother and sister standing on our behalf and acting on our behalf. We'll look for something negative that more than likely those who don't like what they're doing will put out there in plain sight for us to find. When you're looking for something negative, somebody will plant it there. And we, like a fool, we always look for something negative, and then we have aha, and we'll go out and we'll readily teach it. We'll teach it with no problem, and don't care that it's defamation. Yet, when you sit in the seat of judgment, just know that you're going to be judged also. All of us will be judged. So that's why we shouldn't judge each other hastily, and we shouldn't be out here telling falsehoods. You know, slander is not necessarily you telling a lie on someone. It's your motive of why you're doing something. It's your motives. Defamation is a motive also. You see a brother or sister doing something good, and all you can think of putting out is negative on that brother and sister. That's wicked. That's defaming the name and the character of that brother and sister. It's not about truth or falsehood. It's about your motive, what you got in your head trying to destroy that brother and sister. So, but if somebody did that to you, you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. So when you sit in the seat of judgment, just know that you can be judged too. This is the Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.
Enemy Public, I saw your thing on YouTube, man. Keep doing your thing, bro.